One of the most interesting things at this rally, which Rosemary, you noted, has been quiet so far. I went up and down the line this morning talking to supporters, some of whom got here 10 hours before the start. All of them subscribe to the same exact theory that Donald Trump does on what happened last night.
It is the protesters' fault. Many of them, they think we're hired or we're paid.
And Phil, are you seeing any sign there of protesters? Because, of course, as far as Donald Trump's concerned,
this is actually putting steel in the spines of those supporters and him and his supporters.
what are you seeing on that front?
So far, I've been talking to the local police. One thing to keep in mind here, the venues are so different in comparison to last night. Here in Dayton, we're in an airplane hangar. We're miles from any kind of urban center.
There are 5 law enforcement agencies that have a presence here.
This particular area hosts the Dayton Air Show every single summer, Rosemary. 80,000 people show up, so they know how to handle big crowds.
As far as protesters so far, I was talking to one police officer. He said he has seen a pocket of them preparing to protest right near the stage. They will likely be allowed to do that and then be escorted out. Other than that, so far, no protests have erupted. A few are outside the venue, but other than that, it's fairly quiet. And again, Rosemary, I can't stress enough, the location of the venue has a lot to do with that, perhaps the hour of the day, too.
Look, there is a palpable tension at these events. I've been to a number of them over the last couple months. Protesters and the supporters at these rallies often clash. Usually it's shouting matches. Sometimes it devolves into punches, as we've seen recently.
Trump's security is also very involved in this.
His private security. So there are just a lot of elements at play here that make for a volatile mix, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I think the concern when you talk to security officials, law enforcement officials that are around these events is when you see what happened last night, you know that's not going to be the end. It's likely only going to escalate from there. Again, we haven't seen any sign of that yet this morning, but he's got other rallies today. One in Cleveland. He's going to have rallies in Cincinnati tomorrow, another city, urban area. So I think there's a lot of concern about what last night portends for the future of Donald Trump events going forward, Rosemary.
Yeah, and we'll be watching this very closely, and of course we'll take this live. Politics executive editor Mark Preston is at the site of the event, just outside of Dayton. He joins us now live. Mark, this was supposed to actually start about nearly 36 minutes ago. What is happening right now? Yeah, and Mark, what about any signs of protesters? Have you seen people there who are going to be brave enough to go into that building, or is it difficult to access right now?
Very difficult to access, unlike Chicago, the urban city that it is, where it was even easier to move around that city. We are in a very secure location. We are next to an airport right now.
Multiple municipal police officers here. The Secret Service has this place locked down. So if there are protesters, which could happen inside, it's unclear who would have come in with the general crowd. We could perhaps see that. We have not seen any outside.
However, Donald Trump will be moving on after this to Cleveland, Ohio, and then onwards this evening to Kansas City, Missouri. Those could be instances where you could see protesting, much like we saw last night in Chicago.
And Mark, what was interesting too was that Donald Trump was very angry about what happened in Chicago.
He was tweeting at 3:44 this morning.
He was. He's very active on getting his views out on social media, more so than any other presidential candidate. But interestingly, or perhaps not even interestingly.
All right, we'll take a very short break here, but do want to let you know that Donald Trump has arrived just outside of Dayton. You see his plane there.
So any moment now, it is nearly 11 o'clock in the morning. This is nearly an hour late that those people have been waiting, some since 1 o'clock in the morning, waiting for Donald Trump. We will, of course, bring you that rally once Donald Trump starts addressing those supporters, and we'll see whether some protesters have attended this rally.
And Phil, it's interesting to note, after what happened in Chicago with protesters, there doesn't appear to be anyone who's speaking out. Of course, it must be a very intimidating thing to go into a group, a large group like that of supporters of Donald Trump, and to stand up against him. Have you seen any pockets of resistance there, any protesters who might emerge during the course of this rally?
There have been a couple protesters that were shown out, just a few protesters, and so far no major disruptions.
All right, Phil Mattingly joining us there from a very noisy rally. Donald Trump talking to those gathered there.
Not a sign of any significant protest action in the crowd, so we will actually take a break here. I want to thank you.
As far as protesters so far, I was talking to one police officer. He said he has seen a pocket of them preparing to protest right near the stage.
And everybody's sucking sand.
writing on the next president. Do we love Nick? Do we love Nick? The best. He's the best. Number one. Number one at his position by everybody, and everybody tells me. So thank you all very much. Ohio. Oh, I love Ohio. I love Ohio. And the people are amazing people. Thank you. I love you. Look at these people.
That's some sweet action.
I don't know if the media is getting this. I mean, here we have a full hangar, and we thought, well, this is a big, big hangar. This can take just about anything. And we figured the crowd would be okay, and we have so many thousands of people extra that we had to put them out in the runway, right? They never want to capture that, just so you understand, right? They never want. We're gonna build the wall, folks. Don't worry. Who's gonna pay for the wall? Who? Do we have a good time? Our border is like a piece of Swiss cheese that people just come pouring across. We don't have borders anymore. Black and white and every other thing. Income groups, everybody hates everybody. Yeah, and if there's a group out there, just throw them the hell out. That's okay. So look, we cannot let our First Amendment, just can't. We cannot let our First Amendment rights be taken away from us, folks. We can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. But when they have organized, professionally staged wise guys, we've got to fight back. We've got to fight back. Oh, do you have anybody? Oh, hello. Do we have anybody? You know, I love the protesters because it shows what's happening. They will not show. The media is, by the way, the most dishonest group of people I've ever met. The worst. They are... We're dealing with animals. They pay us peanuts. I do get credit. They say, you know, one of the wise guys back there said, you know, and actually I liked him that day. He said, you know the amazing thing about Trump? I hate to say this. I was like sort of very, very establishment 9 months ago. I dealt from that side. And then I saw how stupid everybody was, the stupid decisions. And I say, I'm going to become very anti-establishment. And I said, I'm going to run. Because I know what has to be done. But just to finish on torture, okay? I love hopping around. You know, some people said it's like a great chess game where you go from bing, then it, you know, you go here, but you never forget. You never forget. So we were at torture, and I want to just tell you, in the Middle East, and other places. But in the Middle East, they're chopping off heads. They're drowning people. They're killing people. They would kill us so quickly if they had the capability, and they're trying to get the capability, which is, by the way, why we have to kill them, just so you understand. That's why we have to kill them. I am 100% fine with waterboarding, and it should be increased. Waterboarding's fine. And also, if we can go much worse than waterboarding, that's okay with me too, right? Right? Radical Islamic terrorism. Whoa. And as you know, swine, pig, all of that, the big problem for them, big problem. Dead, boom. So it was a pig-infested bullet in each one. They then dumped the bodies into a mass grave, and they dumped the pigs in with the bodies, and they took the final bullet, and they gave it to the one person that they decided not to shoot. And they said, here, take this bullet, go back to your people, and explain what we just did. Okay? But that's not the end. We have to have one protester, right? So we have one protester. Looks a little wacky. Yeah, he's a whack job. We have one. Listen. So we have one protester, and watch the story tomorrow. Massive protest at Trump rally. I just want to get one of the killers, right? Somebody that you don't want to have dinner with. I mean, some of these guys are so bad. If you ever met him, this beautiful young woman, if she ever met him, you would get sick to your stomach. You wouldn't want to have him over for dinner. You wouldn't want to talk to him. You'd say he's a horrible, horrible human being. He's rude, he's crude, he's vicious. You want nothing to do with him. Take a look at Carrier. Now, what I would do, and I get killed for this. They say, well, that's not very, free. Get him out of here, folks. Why is he angry? Why is he? I'm just saying we're going to make good trade deals. Why is he angry? We're going to make great trade deals. Why would anybody be upset? And what took him so long to put up his hand? We're almost finished. What took him so long? Go back home to mommy. Go back home. Go back home to mommy. Go back home. Guy looks like he's 15 years old. What's going on over here? What's going on? All right, take him back home to mom. She'll lock him in his bedroom. So folks, here's what happens. I will call up Carrier to press him, because I have to do it myself. I know it's not. Because I have to do it myself. I know it's not...
More power.
None can outrun or equal. Power.
We want to see things happen. We want to see things happen.
Power. There have been mixes and dance tracks put together in the past. But none can outrun or equal power.
Full throttle.
Nightclubs with it in the disco. Put together in the past.
More power.
But none